company.
Tonight on Ctv3 News, Curacao Community College faces allegations of bullying. Student threatened with knife, another is injured. Teachers Unite, BNTU launches Value Teachers We Matter campaign amid ongoing negotiations with government. Investigation continues into drowning of autistic student Gabriel Oriano as the authorities seek accountability. And Parliament sessions open 2025 with controversial appointment motion for Auditor General amid opposition concerns. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Friday, February 7th, 2025.
Really? You not switch yet? You know what? I tell you. I don't.
You used to call me on my cell phone late night just to stay in touch. Call me on my cell phone, cause our connection used to mean so much. And I know when that thought line bling, February's got that love to bring. Yeah, I know when that thought line bling, Smart is giving you everything. These days all I do is wonder if you're still connected with somebody else. Wonder why you're missing out on what's best for yourself. You could have had more, but you're still stuck with them. You don't need no one else, you don't need nobody else. So it's time to switch up and run, cause Smart's the best in the land. They got the top speed and the best service for your phone. You should just switch to them, it's Smart or no one else. You used to call me on my cell phone.
Attention residents of Orange Walk. Keeping your town clean and safe is crucial for our community's well-being. However, there is a pressing issue that we need your help to tackle: bushy and abandoned lots. These neglected areas attract pests like rodents, snakes, and other dangerous animals, creating a hazard for everyone. Not only that, these lots become breeding grounds for illicit activities, posing a threat to our town's security. Moreover, they are a sore on the beauty of our thriving community. Under the Public Health Act, Chapter 40 of the Laws of Belize, these neglected lots are considered nuisances, Failure to address them after receiving a due warning can lead to fines imposed by the court on the property's owners. Let's all play our part in keeping Orange Walk Town clean and safe. If you spot an abandoned or bushy lot in your neighborhood, don't hesitate to report it. Report any such lots to us promptly. You can reach us at 380-2053 or send us a message via WhatsApp to 655-4588. Your vigilance can help us maintain our town's beauty and safety. The Orange Walk Town Council, moving forward, one town, one vision.
Good evening with your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. Reports of bullying at the Corozal Community College have reached our newsroom, with a student allegedly threatened with a knife and another rushed to the hospital after being assaulted on campus. According to sources close to the minor, the student who was threatened with a knife was a victim of ongoing bullying that has allegedly not been addressed by school authorities. We understand the student's mother has taken the matter to the police, demanding immediate action to ensure her child's safety. In a separate incident earlier today, we understand that a student was rushed to the Corozal Community Hospital after being attacked by a fellow student on campus. The victim, who was hit in the private area and suffered a cut wound to the back of his ear, was accompanied by a guardian and a teacher to receive medical treatment. Reports to us indicate this is not the first time bullying has been reported at Corozal Community College. In fact, a recent Facebook post by Ctv3 News drew numerous comments from members of the community alleging that bullying is a persistent problem at the institution. Efforts by Ctv3 News to contact the school for comment were unsuccessful. However, we hope to secure a representative from the school to share their response to these incidents and outline any measures they plan to take to address the bullying issue. Parliament held its first session for the year 2025 today. One of the many motions presented in today's sitting of the House of Representatives was the appointment of Auditor General Motion 2025. The motion was presented by Deputy Prime Minister Cordell Hyde, who made the point that the Auditor General is appointed by the Governor General, acting on the advice of both houses within the National Assembly. In the presentation of the motion, DPM Hyde highlighted that the Auditor General's post has been vacant since August 31, 2024. After a thorough process, the Cabinet made the recommendation to have Maria Rodriguez, a senior public officer within the Office of the Auditor General, take up the post effective January 1, 2025. First to speak on this matter was Opposition Leader Shine Barrow. Barrow also went on to present what he calls evidence that she does not possess the qualification for the important position.
The opposition vehemently objects to the appointment of Ms. Rodriguez as the Auditor General, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this appointment is nothing more than the ultimate highlight of cronyism and nepotistic advancements. The office of the Auditor General has been a problem for this country for quite some time, Madam Speaker. This People's United Party government promised in its manifesto to fix the office of the Auditor General, Madam Speaker, and they have not done that. The country has been, in essence, without a functioning Auditor General for the last 4 years, Madam Speaker. And this attempt to appoint a PUP crony to leave his family with the member from Corozal Southeast, from the information that I've gathered, Madam Speaker. But this attempt to promote a PUP crony, Madam Speaker, is not going to fix the problem of the office of the Auditor General, Madam Speaker.
Now, while Barrow claimed that Rodriguez is related to Corozal Southeast Area Representative Honorable Florencia Marin, the minister vehemently refused the assertion while admitting that she does in fact come from his constituency.
I believe the leader of the opposition have his information incorrect. As far as I know, Ms. Rodriguez is not any family member of mine. And she's originally from Corozal Southeast, probably, and from the Corozal district.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
We're correcting you, sir. I know you don't understand
Please
it,
educate me. What's the point of order?
I've taken the correction.
but that is the first, that's an incorrect information, like I presume the rest of the speech, leader of the opposition.
Minister John Briceño, as well as Minister of the Public Service, Honorable Henry Charles Usher, came to Rodriguez's defense, explaining that she is the most qualified person who applied for the position.
To come here with this kind of behavior in this house and to really go after a public service, as public servant, a woman that has served this country well all over these years just because he wants to score some political points. I could imagine, I just hope that women across this country hear how he gone after a good woman, a woman that's well qualified, a woman that went through the process and applied for the job and was given the job not because she's a woman. She got the job because she is the most qualified person. But when you come and read things that are half-truths and twist it around to try to create as if there's some sinister move to put a highly qualified, belligerent public servant who is a woman, I have a problem with that. All of us here have a problem with that. Even the other side, the bigger side of the opposition, have a problem with that.
It is a fact that Ms. Rodriguez has held senior posts in the office of the Auditor General. And I asked him to state the date when she received that promotion, because that promotion happened in 2014 under the UDP government, under a Minister of Finance who was his father. So maybe he should check with the former Prime Minister to see if he was satisfied with the work being done by Ms. Rodriguez at the time. Because as I recall, he was also the Minister of the Public Service at that particular time. So, Madam Speaker, he comes in here and tries to suggest or create the impression that this is being done because it's somebody new. No. Ms. Rodriguez has worked in the office of the Auditor General for a number of years. She has qualified herself and she applied. Madam Speaker, he spoke about creating a strong office of the Auditor General. Well, perhaps he should start by trying to create a strong opposition because he does not even have that. Just for the record, Madam Speaker, let everybody, let the public know, let the country know that the office, when the vacancy was created in the office of the Auditor General upon the retirement of Ms. Dorothy Bradley, there was the publication and the vacancy was published. The requisite time frame was kept to, and 5 persons applied for the position. Mr. Gerald Henry did not apply. So instead of writing that letter for you, he should have applied if he wanted to be the Auditor General. There was an interview panel that was established consisting of members of the Public Service Commission, from the Office of the Prime Minister, from the Ministry of Public Service, etc. Interviews were done with the persons who applied, and Ms. Rodriguez received the highest score. That is how promotions are done in the public service, leader of the opposition.
Simultaneously, as the House of Representatives met inside the George Price Center, over 3,000 teachers from across the country gathered in a sea of green as the Belize National Teachers Union launched the Value Teachers, We Matter campaign. The BNTU were also joined by members of the PSU, including its president, Dean Flowers, along with members of other associations, including firefighters, who were also engaged in their own negotiations with government over wage issues at this time. Their rally today started off with a march through the streets of Belmopan City, passing in front of the George Price Center as today's House meeting was about to begin, and ended with a huge rally inside the UB Gymnasium. BNTU National President Nadia Martin-Callis says the union's movement is different from those in the past as it seeks systemic changes within the education sector.
Excellent turnout. If you notice, I was not in the front because I had to reassure myself that this is what the teachers want. So I walked all the way down. I can tell you that we have over 3,000 plus teachers here today. And I haven't seen this level of support for the BNTU in years. So it is clear that their mandate is exactly what we're standing up for. Value teachers. We matter. They matter. They're the backbone of education. And the way how they are being treated, and it's not fair at all. Right now I can say this to the country. We had a meeting with the Ministry of Education on Wednesday. Prior to that, we have been holding meetings because we are clamoring for systemic change. This is not about instant fix anymore. This is about the permanent solution to everything. And one of the things we learned from them, which we knew already, is that while they want to be able to give teachers what is rightfully theirs, there is no documentation to support some of those things, which is telling you now that some managements are faltering. They're not pulling their weight. Going in, they realize now what we have been saying is true. The management, some of the managements don't have the number of personnel required to serve this huge group that you see here. And that they, as a ministry, even as government, they need to take this, they need to stop doing what you call a hands-on approach, make policies and give it to them to institute and all of that. That needs to stop. Now that they are going in, they are finding exactly what the teachers are saying. Because when they were sharing with us their reports, we couldn't argue because we know that's exactly what is happening. But we applaud them. We applaud them for one, bringing to our attention, which we knew but we did not have the figures, that while we are putting forward 658 teachers, they have over 2,000 teachers who are affected by this I call it archaic, crazy system. It's outdated. It's antiquated. They realize that. And they have already begun to put systems in place to correct that because they shared all of that with us. One of that is removing documentation, going to the management, the ministry, back to the management, back to finance, so they remove that layer. The minute documentation starts to be recorded, everybody's just copied and everything. Nothing has to go back and go back and go back. So that remove like 2-3 weeks, sometimes 2 months, why some of these teachers are not being paid. So value teachers, we matter. It's not just about salaries also.
The ongoing campaign, according to Martin-Callis, aims to address not only salary discrepancies, but also the deep-seated challenges teachers face daily, from fundraising for school supplies to paying utilities.
Today is the launch of a campaign. That's what I want to say. We are launching the campaign. Now, if I say that we have not been making strides, then the union is being disingenuous. But there are some key areas that we have not discussed as yet. And if when we get to those points, we do not find them acting in good faith, then we take it up a notch. But today it was very important that we launched this campaign. And it was very important for all stakeholders, the government, management, some school administrators, and even our parents, to see how our teachers currently feel and why we all need to work together collectively. The whole, it's a fact that over 2,000 teachers are affected because the ministry shared that with us. But within that same data, a percentage received in January, another group is scheduled to receive in February, and then so forth. They cannot give all, and I have to make this clear to Belizeans. Some teachers don't even have a file. There's so many missing documentations, and money must follow the paper. So they are now working with managements to get all the missing documentation so that they can ensure that these teachers receive what they have to receive. And I understand that. I was a school admin, so I know what it takes. And I don't want to be an unfair leader. I don't want to be irrational. I have to be fair because I am clamoring for systemic change. So I have to be fair.
If I could switch just for one quick question on another topic, how do you balance your support for the Stella Maris staff with the need for there to be accountability at the school for what transpired and the loss of baby Oriano's life?
Excellent question. First of all,
The launch of the Value Teachers We Matter campaign comes at the heels of ongoing meetings between the BNTU and the Ministry of Education, which Kale says have been productive. Another meeting is expected in the coming days, for which the BNTU says they expect discussions to be had on a number of other issues. If these negotiations don't go their way, however, the union has maintained that it is prepared to take its protest action up a notch. A significant investment of $38 million is set to bolster the sugarcane industry in northern Belize, presenting a monumental opportunity for farmers across various associations to reap substantial benefits. This ambitious project, heavily funded by the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, was officially launched yesterday during a special celebratory ceremony held in the ESTM conference room in San Roman, Corozal. Elmer Cornejo reports that this initiative not only aims to enhance agricultural productivity, but also to promote sustainable practices within the sector, ensuring long-term resilience against the challenges posed by climate change.
In a landmark event held yesterday, farmers and key stakeholders in the sugarcane industry gathered in San Roman, Corozal to celebrate the official launch of a new project aimed at revitalizing the sector. Under the name of Building the Adaptive Capacity of Sugarcane Farmers in Northern Belize, the initiative will inject $38 million over the next 5 years to enhance resilience against climate change and improve crop yields. The project comes as a response to declining yields that have plagued the industry in recent years, largely due to adverse effects from climate change, including erratic rainfall and temperature variability. Dr. Colin Young, Executive Director of the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, emphasized the necessity of the project after 5 years of groundwork.
5 years ago, the government had approached the 5 Cs along with the stakeholders, the farmers and BSI and CERDI, to look at the possibility of accessing resources to help farmers deal with all of the variability that they're experiencing in the industry. Some years they have too much water, some years too little water, and then they have this persistent problem with the stem borers and the hoppers and others. And so we tried to design a project that would allow the farmers that if they practice better land management techniques and they had different varieties of seed cane, that they can diversify away from the B79 variety that they use now, that it will build the resilience of the industry to the effects of climate change. So it is a whole of industry approach. It requires change in behavior of the farmer. It requires changes in agricultural practices. It requires making sure that there are nutrients that we can put back on the soil so that the yield of the sugarcane can be better. But really underpinning all of this, climate change, yes, is the main issue. But what we want to really see is that the livelihoods of the farmers improve, because the productivity on their fields is going to increase. And then when they sell the sugar cane to the mill, that they can get better productivity and thus more income, which then improves their economic livelihoods for them and their families. So ultimately, while we are talking about climate change and the impacts of climate change, it's the human beings, it's the farmers who are really at the center of this.
Agriculture Minister Jose Abelardo Mai was vocal about the pressing need for financial support for the beleaguered industry, expressing his enthusiasm for the new initiative.
Yeah, the project is a Ministry of Economic Development managed project with input from the Ministry of Agriculture. We are a stakeholder in the project through the Sugar Industry Control Board, CIRDI, the research arm of Sugar Board, we will be involved with this project. Many projects that are funded nationally, a great part of the funding goes to administration, and a smaller component always goes to the farmer. We are trying in this case for it to be different, that the farmers will have to contribute in kind, or they have a component that they have to finance, and that makes the project more available to the farmers. So we are hoping that a great part of the fund will go towards the farm. A project of this magnitude, this is a mega project, has to show results. As Dr. Young mentioned in his presentation, the implementation is always a challenge to implement. Writing a project is a challenge, but implementing is always a challenge. Ensuring that the farmers are beneficiaries, ensuring that they show improvement, show increases in yield. That is a challenge. How do you implement? How do you go about ensuring that happens? And so there has to be very close monitoring, much participation from CIRDE or Research Institute, and the Ministry of Agriculture. We are the technical people in the Ministry of Agriculture. So drainage and irrigation is our thing. Disease and pest control, integrated pest management is our thing. And so we have to ensure that our people are on the ground, teaching the farmer, showing the farmer, working with the farmer, ensuring that these actions are implemented.
Representatives from Belize Sugar Industries BSI, the sole mill in northern Belize, attended the launch and reiterated their commitment to the industry.
At BSI, we are very excited. This project for us is very important. We really started this research project about varieties in 1970s. So for us, this project started in the 70s when we started to research varieties and try to find a needle in a haystack, as my friend and colleague Adrian says. And we have now 11 new varieties that we're able to share with the farming community. So this really is an important project to roll out those varieties. BSI can't do it alone. We've done the research for it. There is a silver bullet or a silver bullet variety that will be resilient to everything, to drought, flood, and whatever. So we have to find a diversity of varieties so that we're able to confront the climate impacts that we're facing. There are some varieties that are more resilient to drought, for example, some more to floods or water settlement. We have to look at the water management. This project is key for the water management, drainage, irrigation, and also the soil health. We have soils that, we've been working so many years from the 60s, and it is important for us as the cane farming community and as the miller to really take a moment and rejuvenate those soils. And a key component in this project is composting the soil that goes into the mill, what we call the filter cake, or people sometimes call bagasse. It's not bagasse, it's filter cake or mill mud, and that will be composted to bring back to the fields. And so this project is instrumental for all of that. And
under the umbrella of the new project, farmers expect betterment for the industry on a whole.
Hemos estado detrás, en BSF he estado participando desde el inicio del proyecto. Vemos de que es un buen proyecto, ha tenido su sube y baja, de la cual nosotros nos hemos opuesto en algunas cosas, y gracias a Dios que han habido cambios que vemos que se pueden dar para apoyar a los cañeros. Realmente esperamos y vamos a participar, seguimos participando, para ver que los cañeros que puedan conectarse a este proyecto puedan conseguir el beneficio, y para los que no puedan, pues ver de que cómo el proyecto va a evolucionar para el bienestar del cañero individual y también de la asociación y de la industria al final. BSF es la asociación más grande, representamos más del 50% de la producción y de los cañeros también. Así es de que hay 10,000 acres que se va a trabajar en este proyecto, de la cual BSF va a tener el 50% o el 60% de esa cantidad, Entonces no podemos dar un número específico por cañero ahorita, pero sí vamos a tener un 60% del proyecto a favor de BSCF. Nosotros también tenemos que poner un co-financing de ello que anda alrededor de 6.7 millones de dólares americanos que nos toca a nosotros, ya sea in kind o en el terreno, lo que sea. Entonces nuestra participación, y cada asociación va a participar en base a la cantidad de productores que tiene de cañeros. Entonces como BSCF nos toca la porción más grande.
With implementation set to begin in March 2025, the project promises a renewed focus on sustainable farming practices, reinforcing the future of sugarcane cultivation as northern Belize adapts to the pressing challenges posed by a changing climate. Elmer Cornejo, Ctv3 News.
In order to tackle what has certainly been a long-standing problem for farmers in San Carlos Orange Walk, who year after year are left with carrots rotting in their fields, the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Safety and Enterprise, along with the Belize Marketing and Development Corporation, BMDC, have launched a carrot juice production pilot project. BMDC 2 weeks ago transported raw product from Orange Walk to Siltgrass Farms in the south to make 100% all-natural carrot juice. Siltgrass Farmers has a high-pressure juice processing machine with which it produces various juices of excellent quality. The juice is being bottled in half-gallon and gallon bottles, with the half-gallon bottle being sold for $10. It has a shelf life of 120 days. According to the Minister of Agriculture, Hosamai, this project will assist in reducing food waste while providing a nutritious Belizean-made product.
This year there was 90 acres of carrots planted. That I think could yield 1.4 million pounds of carrots. The country's weekly consumption is 40,000 pounds. So do the math, right? There's no way you can consume all the carrot in such a short time before it starts to spoil. And carrots is highly perishable. Carrots shelf life in the refrigerator is 3 to 4 days. All right. So given the nature of that vegetable, it's a challenge for the farmers and for the ministry to find ways to dispose of it. You cannot consume it. So we had to decide what to do with it. We cannot allow farmers to throw away product after they have worked so hard, invested so much time and resources in it, to lose it. So we decided to partner with Siltgrass, and I want to thank Henry Canton and Siltgrass Company for helping us to process the carrot into carrot juice. So today the BMDC is marketing carrot juice. As we speak, we are still buying from the farmers and converting into carrot juice. It is a great initiative. I think it sets the pace for how we are to operate in the future.
For the Agriculture Minister, Belize is progressing towards the industrialization of its agriculture sector to ensure that farmers can maximize their harvest.
We are producing enough for the nation. The excesses now, we have to find a way to deal with it. Process it, store it, but we have to do that. It's time for us to look at industrializing the agriculture sector. We have to do that. And in the next 5 years, that's our goal, industrialize the agriculture sector.
In a highly anticipated parliamentary sitting today, the Prime Minister's widely expected announcement of the general election date did not materialize. Attorney for the Attorney General Abon Courtney had already confirmed that the Prime Minister would not announce an election date during this session. This is after Senior Counsel Anand Ramlugan, representing 3 registered voters, sent a comprehensive 14-page pre-action letter to the Attorney General urging immediate action on a redistricting exercise before the general elections are held. In the letter, Ramlugan urges that conducting elections under the current electoral divisions would violate constitutional requirements for equal representation. He strongly criticizes the government for its failure to pass the necessary amendments to tackle existing zoning issues, indicating that an election held under the current boundaries could potentially be rendered invalid and unconstitutional. Ram Lugan has made it clear that he is prepared to escalate his actions should the government fail to provide assurance of a redistricting progress. Today, Honorable Henry Charles Usher, Minister of Public Service, Constitutional and Political Reform, weighed in on the matter, outlining that it was never the PM's intention of announcing an election date today.
I don't think he had any intention of announcing today in the House of Representatives any election date or the dissolution of Parliament or anything like that. So really when the letter was received by the Attorney General's Ministry, and I have to say that the three parties that the letter was sent to, the Attorney General's Ministry, the Speaker of the House, and the Election and Boundaries Commission. So they are really the ones that should be speaking on the particular contents of that letter. But when that letter requested an undertaking that the House would not be dissolved today, that was an easy undertaking to give because the Prime Minister had no intention of dissolving the House today. But in terms of what the letter is proposing, it's something that we have a legal team looking at, and we always take these matters seriously. You have to remember that the Election and Boundaries Commission did make proposals when it comes to redistricting. Those proposals were taken to the House with the corresponding bill. That bill was introduced in the House at some House meeting in the past, and it is in the House committee. So in terms of Parliament working on it, it is something that's happening right now. I want to reiterate to the public, let the public know that the Election and Boundaries Commission did make proposals as it's mandated to do under Section 90 of the Constitution. Those proposals were tabled in the House. A corresponding bill was also introduced in the House, and that bill is at House committee. So the allegations that there was no attempt to do redistricting is a false allegation. That is not true. The attempt was done. As you recall, there was already a claim that received a consent order, meaning that the parties agreed. All of the conditions of that consent order were agreed to. I believe it went back to court. The judge agreed that the consent order was adhered to. So all of this is just backdrop to the fact that now we have this letter coming forward from an attorney all the way from Trinidad. Begs the question, why? Why did these three individuals not choose a Belizean attorney to write this letter?
The investigation into the tragic death 6-year-old autistic student from Stella Maris School, Gabriel Oriana, is still ongoing. On Monday, little Gabriel wandered off the school compound unnoticed and tragically drowned near the seaside. The Ministry of Education is working with the police department to carry out a thorough investigation to determine how exactly little Gabriel got off the school compound and if anyone is to be held criminally responsible for his demise. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams today confirmed that the investigation is looking at a number of different angles. Campo Williams also confirmed that a police officer did report seeing the child and called 911, but despite efforts, patrols couldn't locate Gabriel in time.
Basically, we are still looking at the issue. I know it's a very sad one for the nation. I have viewed the video footages that the media houses put out, and it is telling on us as a society to see that the child was seen running through traffic. Several vehicles almost hit him and nobody stopped to check to see who the child was, where he was going or anything. Like, they just left him alone. It ended up in that sad way that no one would want to see a child. We also reviewed the issue with the police officer who had given an interview to the media, I think to WFM, stating that she had seen the child and had called the 911 and gave the information. We have checked on that, and it is indeed true. She called, and it showed that immediately after she called, the diary entries showed that she passed the information on to the patrols that were out. The patrols went and checked. Unfortunately, they were not able to find him. And again, you can see in the video the child was moving very fast. And so because of that, the patrol was not able to locate the child. It's sad. I wish it had not happened that way. But I hope that there is something that we all as a society can learn from what happened to that child.
Paul Williams added that as the investigation proceeds and if negligence is found, those responsible could be held accountable.
It is going to be extremely difficult. At the end of investigation, we will refer the matter to the DPP, but I don't foresee her giving such directives. At the end of the day, I think even the teachers at Stella Maris are shaken up by what happened. So they are going through their own things right now, because certainly they would not have wanted that to happen to the child. Right? So, but we'll see when that time comes.
Is there a main fact the police is trying to establish in their investigation?
Well, the issue that we'll be looking at is to see if there is any culpability in terms of negligence on the part of anybody. You would know that if you have charge of a child, you have not just a moral obligation, but also a legal obligation to ensure the safety of that child. And once that obligation is broken by way of negligence, then you can be held liable. So.
And while the police work with the Ministry of Education to carry out an investigation into Gabriel's death, today BNTU National President Nadia Martin-Kale says the union stands behind the teachers at Stella Maris School. While she stated there is importance in taking accountability, she assured the teachers that the union stands by them.
Before becoming the president of BNTU, I visited Stella Maris. I want the country to know before I became the president, I looked at within BNTU I have 10 membership groups. And so I had to touch base with the 10 membership groups. Special education is a part of that. And when I visited Stella Maris, the 2 times I went to Stella Maris, I had to stay at the gate because somebody had to let me in. So what happened, I don't know. That is something I need to find out. But I will support those teachers because of what I saw when I visited. There is love in that institution. And they need more resources, but they're doing the best that they can with the resources. And I can tell you that these teachers have been registering some of their challenges with the ministry. So when you see things like this happen, or when you see something like this happening, don't get it twisted. Before this, you have paper trail of their concerns. And I'm happy, and I have to give, people say I like to big him up, but I have to give Minister Fonseca credit for the way he's handling it, because he's not attacking the teachers, he's not bashing them, because I am of the opinion that he has seen some of these documentations, all the concerns that they have been bringing to the attention of the powers that be. But you have to remember he sits at the top and there are people beneath him that tend not to give him the correct information, and I'm saying that for a fact. So now that he's coming on the ground and learning for himself, he realized that I cannot go against the union. What they're saying to me is true. It's my people that are needed to sit down. Because of how he's moving, I know. Because if we were wrong, believe you me, he would hold us accountable. But coming back to support and accountability, I am not saying that nobody should be, held accountable. You have to hold people accountable for what transpired. And if we talk about accountability in that aspect, the community. Now everybody is on all over social media. You can find cameras tracking the movement of the child. But why is it that nobody could have stopped and said, let me hold his hand. Let me call the authorities. Everybody just look. And everybody wants to point finger and accuse.
Several cane farmers in northern Belize are grappling with the devastating impacts of a rapidly spreading fusarium fungal disease, which has infiltrated cane fields in the region and is threatening the future of the lucrative sugar industry. Agricultural officials estimate that more than 40,000 acres of sugarcane are currently affected, raising serious concerns about crop yields and the livelihoods of local farmers. The alarming spread of the fusarium fungus, known for its destructive effects on sugarcane, has left farmers in a state of distress as they witness their crops yield significantly less sugar than in previous seasons. According to Minister of Agriculture Hosemai, Recent reports from the experts indicate that we could see a decrease in sugarcane production of more than 20% this year.
Our technical team is saying that we may have a 30% decrease in sugarcane production this year. We'll have a sugar yield reduction too. And so this project, which seeks to look at an integrated systems approach, is considering resistant or alternative varieties. Varieties that are resistant to drought, some resistant to excess moisture, and some resistant to fusarium. This is a whole different package. There's not a silver bullet that will cure fusarium. It has to be an integrated approach. It has to be integrated cropping systems. It has to be a change of technology. I mean, simple, if you walk into a cane field trying to control fusarium with a knapsack sprayer, and you walk into the next field, you will be transmitting the fungus from one field to the next. So the question comes up, should we use drones now? Right? In terms of harvesting, should we move away now or phase out manual harvesting and move towards mechanization to lower your costs? Again, these are things that we have to analyze, and these are things that the project has to look at seriously.
Industry insiders express hope that with timely interventions and expert guidance, the spread of the disease can be curtailed, allowing farmers to recover and maintain the integrity of the sugar industry in Belize. The Trump administration has begun motions to deport individuals they consider undesirable, sending many who are in the U.S. illegally back to their home countries. Belizeans are among those expected to be deported, and Prime Minister John Briceño has stated that Belize is ready to welcome back its citizens being repatriated. Reports have indicated that close to 900 Belizeans living in the U.S. would be sent home. Foreign Minister Francis Fonseca this week confirmed that they received the same report and that a little under 100 Belizeans were said to be in ICE custody at this time awaiting deportation.
96 in custody. And then, of course, there are about 891 Belizeans who are what they call non-detainees, who are people who have been given orders of removal, but did not show up back at court or that type of thing. So they are somewhere, they don't have them in custody, but they are somewhere out in the United States, the people that they are actively looking for.
Can you confirm that figure? Because we saw that in a list that's yet unconfirmed.
That's why I said he did not confirm any figures. I'm just saying to you that that's the report that we received. Those are numbers. It's credible, but again, they are going through their process of determining exactly how accurate those numbers are. So we keep in touch with them and engage on them. And Belize is fully committed to working with the United States government on bringing back our Belizean nationals to Belize safely and in a dignified manner.
The countdown to the highly anticipated general elections in Belize has officially begun, with Prime Minister yet to set a date for the polls. As he has mentioned before, the elections are expected to take place between March and June. As the political landscape in Belize continues to shift, the campaign is shaping up in the Orange Walk South constituency, while Minister of Agriculture Jose Mai is set to face the opposition's German Tillit. When asked about the challenges posed by his opposition counterpart, Tillit, Mai acknowledged the opposition's efforts but remained unwavering in his commitment to his constituents.
I won't say negative things about my opponent, but we will do what we have to do.
As the campaign mill in Orange Walk South begins to churn, both sides are expected to pull out all stops to win over voters. But according to Mai, he does not expect the number of opposition members in Parliament, which now stands at 5, to increase.
I don't see that growing at all. I think it's going to shrink. the UDP has imploded. There is no leadership, there is no vision, there is no hope for them. Sad, because any good democracy needs a good opposition. And they are no kind of opposition. So it's unfortunate that we have a situation in Belize as such.
And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
El gusano barrenador del Nuevo Mundo representa una amenaza importante para el ganado, las mascotas y los seres humanos. Puede provocar graves pérdidas si no se controla rápidamente. Actualmente no está presente en Belice. Es por eso que la detección temprana es crucial para evitar su propagación. Ayudemos a mantenerlo fuera. No traiga animales de otros países ilegalmente. Si nota gusaneras en heridas inusuales, infórmelo de inmediato. Llame a Baja al 824-4872 o envíe un mensaje de texto al 670-7003. Juntos podemos trabajar para mantener a nuestro país libre del gusano barrenador del Nuevo Mundo y salvar animales. Este mensaje es presentado por Baja, OIRSA, IICA, USDA y el Ministerio de Agricultura, Seguridad Alimentaria y Empresas.
The Honorable Senator Isabel Bennett Moody and the Honorable Senator Kevin Herrera represented Belize at the recent Artificial Intelligence AI Insecurity Workshop organized by the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association UK branch in collaboration with Catamount House. The prominent event took place from January 28 to the 30th, 2025 at the esteemed House of Parliament in Westminster, London, United Kingdom. The workshop convened parliamentarians from across Commonwealth, offering a platform to explore the transformative role of AI within the evolving security landscape. Key topics addressed during the workshop included the impact of AI in security and digital colonialism, the current landscape of national and international AI governance, strategies for combating disinformation and enhancing cybersecurity in light of emerging technologies. A notable highlight from the workshop was a panel discussion led by Senator Bennett Moody, focusing on the implications of AI in defense and its responsible military applications. This session examined the increasing integration of AI in military operations, from autonomous drones to enhanced intelligence gathering capabilities. In her segment, Senator Bennett Moody emphasized the critical need for policymakers to understand and regulate these technologies responsibly, advocating for accountability and human oversight in defense decisions to ensure adherence to ethical standards. In addition to the insightful discussions, the senators observed the UK Public Accounts Committee hearing regarding the use of AI in government, as well as witnessed brief observations in the House of Commons and the House of Lords chambers. Upon their return to Belize between February 1st and 2nd, 2025, Senators Bennett Moody and Herrera expressed gratitude for the invaluable insights gained during this high-level engagement, which will inform future legislative decisions regarding AI and its implications for national security. The European Union (EU) is providing $2 million grant funding to scale up the digital innovation to boost economic development in Belize program financed by the Inter-American Development Bank (IDB). The project is a key element in the government of Belize's comprehensive strategy to drive digital innovation and transformation. The non-reimbursable technical cooperation will complement the existing $10 million IDB loan program, which seeks to advance the digital transformation of firms, promoting growth and increasing efficiency within Belize's economy. The project, currently being implemented by the Ministry of Finance, Economic Development, Investment, Civil Aviation, and Immigration, supports micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, in their digitalization journey. Direct beneficiaries include more than 250 firms, while at least 20 individuals, 50% of whom are women, will receive digital skills training through boot camps. The EU grant will support activities to stimulate private sector demand for digital transformation and digital innovation, enhance local digital capacities resulting in greater adaptation of digital solutions and technologies, and support MSMEs in boosting sales, increasing use of digital payments, and fostering innovations in information processing and communication methods. The contribution agreement between IDB and the EU underscores a shared commitment to empowering Belize's private sector, ensuring meaningful participation from women entrepreneurs, and paving the way for a robust digital economy and a sustainable future in line with both institutions' cooperation under the Global Gateway Investment Agenda for Latin America and the Caribbean. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Monday, February, here on Ctv3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. From all of us here at Ctv3 News, have a safe and pleasant weekend. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.